You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Eat, Drink, Love After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Eat, Drink, Love After Show.
Just stop physical. I'm the type who won't get up, so critical. So let's make things physical.
All of you are getting closer. Bing is for doing, and welcome to the Eat, Drink, Love AFTERBUZZ TV After Show. This is season 1, episode 7 or 9. We're not sure quite yet, but it's called Taste Test. I believe it's the 9th episode, so whatever. But I'm your host, Jake Dupree, along with my beautiful, beautiful other hosts. Let's go.
Hi, I'm Cassidy Gard.
And I'm Fahnia Thomas.
And we're so excited to be back with you tonight, so let's just get started with the episode. We come in on Miss Waylon, and she is in Phone Nuts talking to Nancy about going to New York with Andrew. And she's so excited because this is their first trip together. Isn't that cute?
It's a lot of firsts. It's
Yeah.
first trip, first shopping,
first shopping.
first space.
Yeah, and I like that she's also, Andrew invited her. The reason why they're coming to New York is Andrew invited her to go to help him make a dessert for the James Beard house. He's making a dinner for them, and she's going to be doing the dessert. That's really cool. I think that's nice that they can kind of like be in business together and be in cahoots together.
But it was such a tease because we don't actually get to see them
the meal.
hot and heavy in the kitchen working together like we did on some of the
And we
other
didn't even get to see the meal either.
I mean, this is Bravo. Real easy, Cassidy.
Oh, yes. I want
I
it.
feel like in New York, people are a lot more private, especially
And they're like,
at
we don't
house-
want your stupid reality show on our...
Right.
Yeah.
They want to keep it very private for their guests.
Yeah, I mean, and I commend Andrew for even wanting to be on a reality show, too. I mean, I think he feels like a very private, like, intimate guy. I feel like he wouldn't want it to be broadcast, but I'm proud that he wants to be on the show,
He's
too.
sacrificing for our Waylon.
It's cute. And then what do you think about Waylon wanting to open the store in New York? I think that's
Love it.
amazing.
Go, girl. Go
Yeah.
cross country.
I mean, Phone Nuts has gotten so much press, like so much press, and it's become this huge thing. And she even said, like, people on Twitter ask her, like, all the time, when is it coming to New York? When's it coming here? When's it coming there? So I'm glad that they're going to take the step. Maybe.
I'm excited for
possibly.
her. And I love how emotional she got because she was so excited. Like, she's just a tried and true, normal, natural, fun, loving person who wears her emotions on her sleeve and says it like it is and hashtags keeps it real.
I feel like she's one of the few people on reality shows who genuinely is a real person. Like, I feel like you watch her and you see exactly who she is.
And she
So
started
for me.
crying in front of the two realtors. And there's something I really love about that because with people like Bethany Frankel, they really thrived on being hard and kind of, just this tough woman. And Waylon's just very vulnerable.
I mean,
and
she's
soft
tough and she
sensitive.
gets what she wants,
does
but she's
both.
also, like,
She
super
gives both.
emotional.
Yeah, and I love that. She's in tears.
And this killed me. They called the realtor at the store, and then they were like, we're looking for a space, 1,100 feet, blah, 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 blah. And he was like, oh, usually it's about 600 a foot in Soho. I was like, let me clutch my pearls for a second. That was crazy. I can't even imagine paying that in rent.
Yeah, no, that's cray.
But then again, with places like New York, you can go and get a cupcake and it's like $9. They really upmark the food. I'm sure
Yeah.
those phone nuts
Yeah.
are going to be a healthy, at least $4.
And it's like, I think they're looking, 1,100 feet, that's not too terribly small. So maybe they're looking to maybe open like almost like a restaurant feel, because I think the Phone Nuts is just it's just like the counter basically. Like you just go in and eat.
in LA, you have outdoor space you can sit. I feel like in New York, people love to step in and sit down
Yeah, and if they
really
had
get off their
the
feet.
coffee and like the donut, I think it'd be so cool. Or Phone Nut, excuse me, not donut. So of course we move on to see Kat and Brenda meet in the park in like this was like a really irrelevant scene. I was like, supposedly Brenda was on her lunch break or something, and they're talking. And Brenda brings up her conversation with Lindsay, and it's really strange because Brenda said, she was like, I think Lindsay, I don't know, I can't be around her because I don't think Lindsay supports women in the industry. Do you think that's true?
I don't think she supports Brenda in the industry.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
That's it. Yeah.
I think she's got a vendetta against her for whatever little tiff. I can't even remember. Like, I'm over it. Yawn.
It's just strange. And then, of course, we see, I mean, like, the conversation should be over because the next thing they have is Brenda's review went really well at work. And they really like what she's doing and want to give her a raise. So it's like Lindsay has honestly no effect on what she's done, clearly. And then on those 2 episodes, like last week's or whatever, and the week before, remember she was like, "You're the reason I'm having trouble at work." And I mean, clearly she's not having trouble at work if she's getting a raise.
Well, it's almost as if she tried to shame her, as if it was less of a personal thing, because it's so much harder if someone's just kind of like, yeah, you're not my favorite person. I don't really like you that much. If you can get to a place where you're like, you're just not supportive of women in general, like then suddenly it's not just about Brenda, it's about all the women in the industry. So it's like less attention on her, which is why I think she was pulling that.
And I do like Brenda. I just think that's a big statement to say, especially because look at all the work that Lindsay's doing with Nina, like really getting this whole thing together for her. So maybe it's just like she's just not doing it for she's not rooting for the women that she doesn't necessarily care for and that don't necessarily care for her either. So
I would like to hear the boss's opinion. Like, what happened? What really went down? Like, since she's the one that supposedly is in between these two, like, what's the boss lady have to say?
Yeah, and I don't think that the boss probably had that much of like really cared that much.
She probably doesn't get involved. I'm sure she's so busy. She's not getting as involved as these 2 ladies are.
The boss has, I mean, like, why would she let her friend come in between her and her employee as well?
Well, Brenda just seemed very sensitive last episode. She just seemed as if everything was setting her off. The same with Jess. We were crying over onion dip last episode because it's white trash hummus. But at the same time, I think all these ladies just get to these places where they're so, like, vulnerable that they kind of lash out. But I like that Waylon doesn't. Whenever she's vulnerable or sensitive, she just expresses that and moves on. She doesn't, like, find women to lash out about.
Yeah, and if it's something that she's being emotional about, it's on herself. Like, she's not going to project it onto somebody else and be like, this is your fault or something. So it's commendable. And while we were watching the show, I would love to hear what everyone else thinks about this too, but I think that Waylon would have an awesome spin-off on Bravo.
Oh, I second that.
If not,
I'd watch.
like her own Food Network show.
Well, spinoffs are great when they have a reason for them. As if I'm moving to New York, I'm starting a phone shop.
in New York.
You know, follow me on the journey, or I'm getting married, or I'm pregnant again. So it's really great when there's something going on because characters like Jess, you know, they're like looking for jobs. I mean, that's just kind of falls flat. But Waylon is vibrant and she has a hot new man in her life. So someone like her is just screaming for.
And it's cool because she has all these fun people around her, like Nancy and like the other employees, like that crumping scene. That was that was probably my favorite moment of this entire season of the show.
They're wild. I like it.
Like,
Amazing.
honestly, I took no notes because I was so kind of bored with the episode.
I mean,
that part came on with her crumping on the employee at the register. I totally lit up and started laughing.
So refreshing. It's just refreshing to see Waylon. Every time she comes on screen, I just feel, I don't know, it just makes me feel good. Like, it makes me feel like I can pursue something and really do it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
she's likable.
really make it for
no
herself.
one's really picking fights with her.
No. And if they do, she's just like, I don't care.
Thing with Jessica.
Yeah.
The same
she shut it down and was like, no, sorry.
She puts it back on the other person. She's like, whatever you're feeling right now is your own insecurities. It's nothing to do with me. And then that shuts it down in a heartbeat. And she's wise enough to know how to do that.
So moving on to Miss Lindsay, she brings Nina to go to dinner at Starry Restaurant, and they meet, how do you say his name? Najulian or something? Mm-hmm. Yes, sure.
Go with that.
Yeah, I'm having trouble with that name, but it's okay. And they bring up how he got his whole restaurant started with his wife, and they had a restaurant in the back of their house. And then it became the most well-rated Asian fusion restaurant in LA and on Yelp and Eater and stuff.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? And they opened this huge restaurant that seats so many people. And Nina decides to do a pop-up shop, and he offers to let her come in on Monday night and do the store and have her pop-up restaurant there. I think that is so crazy and so cool. I mean, what a big leap for someone to be like, here, have my restaurant.
And do you notice that these opportunities just fall in Nina's lap? Like when she did the LA Food and Wine Festival,
thing,
it just came out of nowhere. I love that she's always in this hot water of trying to get it done, and she's pulling it together, but her energy just screams that because she just radiates trying to get things together. So.
And I feel like she's a down ass bitch. Like she's like, if this is gonna come at me, I'm gonna do it.
Absolutely.
Like whatever.
She's not afraid of a challenge. She's a go-getter, and she's taking her career seriously.
And she's another one like Waylon, where it's like if someone's gonna confront her, if she has a problem with someone, she's just gonna confront it and be like, this is it. Like, don't be all ridiculous and crazy. Like, get it over with, and that's it. So I love that. I think that's really cool. And she has to feed 50 people, and it's like $45 a head, which is, I mean, that's pretty reasonable for like the 4-course meal or whatever she's having.
Absolutely.
And
a cocktail.
and a cocktail, which Miss Lindsay's doing. And Lindsay doesn't think they need Kat to bring in people, but Nina is going to reach out to Kat because she thinks that she can get more people to come. So we'll see that in a minute. But we go back to Waylon in New York with Andrew, and they're in the little hotel room. That was really cute, seeing their intimate moment. With, I don't know, it was just like nice to see like the two of them just like in their simple like little environment
I
together.
like how little
In the
girl,
hotel
like
room.
schoolgirl, she got like butterflies and being with her boo and seeing new opportunities with the restaurant.
Because New York
Love
is
that.
so cozy. The whole time they were there, it was raining. They were in these little
And, like, coats
restaurants,
and, like, yeah.
and they were like in scarves and layers, and then umbrellas walking together. It was like a romantic comedy.
And then we see Waylon go looking for storefronts, and she's so excited. And then the first place they see is 3 floors, $12,000 a month. That's crazy. That's crazy. Especially like a place just starting out in New York, like you have to get your footing, like get with it. But like that's
It
a
was
lot
good
to
contrast.
handle.
It's good she saw it just to see what other stuff was like in comparison.
And then the second space they see, which is a retail space, and it had, you know, clothes and things like that, but it was $10,000 a month, and it was 1,100 square feet, which was, I think it was more reasonable. It's what they were looking for, and it looked, I could see it, like I pictured it inside that without
It seemed,
all that
was
stuff.
it like kind of a long and
Yeah, it
skinny
was
narrow,
just a
which
blank
is
canvas.
Great because you have the front, you have the place, and then you put all the seating in the back, so it's like cozy and people are away from the door. Because in the winter, it's so freezing in New York when it's always open.
And they need that door to be away from the people because it is too damn cold.
I think that would be great potential for Fahnia.
And then, of course, we mentioned this earlier, but we see Waylon get emotional. And I think that was the coolest moment because it was a genuine, real moment. I mean, I say it, I guess I'm repeating myself again, but I just think that that's really cool to show that. Like, it doesn't have to be drama. It doesn't have to be stupid. This is her reality. And it's like she's seeing how far she's come. And that is such a cool thing to see, especially for someone who's worked her ass off. And she has really worked her ass off.
Do you think it would have been nice if Andrew had gone along just to give his opinion and input?
No, I think that he wanted her to have her moment because it was
Yeah.
like, this is her baby, and like,
Yeah.
just let her have that. Yeah, and she's smart enough to do it by herself too.
No, yeah. I think it would have been kind of fun, though, to, like, show off a little bit. I mean, she's so accomplished, and then you bring your guy along, and you're like, yeah, I can afford this. I can make this work.
Yeah.
I think it'd be kind of nice.
It's hot.
Power
It's kind of hot.
moment.
And then, but the thing that also killed me was like the lease is for 5 to 10 years. That's
That's a
crazy.
commit.
That
That's
girl
a
can
big
commit
commitment.
to her restaurants. I don't know about with all these engagements. God loves her. I love her too. But
Yeah.
she kind of seems like she's had a colorful past. So I like that when it comes time to restaurants, she can sign that deal.
The phone nuts fill her belly and her vagina. I'll just say that. So then we move on to see, I'll just leave you with that. And then we see Nina meeting with Kat, and they're meeting up about the pop-up write-up on Eater. What did you think that Kat was being a little bit shady with this whole write-up thing?
I can't even get past phone nuts filling up her vagina. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, what?
Yeah, you don't need
Yeah,
you don't
I
need a
got
man. You just
confused.
need a phone nut.
Did Kat seem as if she was being shady?
Yeah.
Kat is just on such a power trip. She can't just give a straight, oh yeah, I can write up a little blurb. It has to be more like, my job is very important and I have to think of my readers. She's just always on
Go
some
scratch,
little power
yeah.
trip. Yeah, I never fell for Kat. She's just
It's just
I like her ensembles.
Oh yeah,
she's
she
always
was
giving us fashion.
Always so cute, and I like her pink tips. She looks a lot like Lauren Conrad to me. They have,
Oh, I can see.
they have a similar
like
aesthetic.
a poor
I think.
man's Lauren Conrad.
Ooh, shade.
Lauren Conrad's way classier than Kat.
Yeah.
She does give us style and makeup and fashion, so I love that about her.
She comes camera ready every time
Oh,
we see her.
yes.
I like that.
The image lasts forever on the internet.
Sure does. And I thought it was nice that she would even give her a write up at all. But since it's her friend and it's a part of the show as well, why not just give her a full article? Like, I guarantee you it's fine. Like, who cares? I mean, I guess I've never really been on eater.com. I've been just a few times just to like research these girls when we first started. But it's like, I don't know.
I think
Are
she
people
was
that serious, like on Eater?
I think from like a national television point of view, she was trying to keep it at a minimum. Like, look, people, this is not what I do. So she's not flooded with friends and family, like trying to get certain things from her. So from that aspect, I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't just give favors to everybody.
Right.
And especially people that you don't like. She's never really tasted Nina's food completely, like a full course meal. So she doesn't know if she's going to endorse that or not, which I understand.
But clearly it wasn't coming from a good place because as we see later on, I mean, she does absolutely nothing to try to promote Nina in any way possible, leaving her name out of everything. Just a chef friend of mine.
Wait, now did she leave her name out of the Eater or out of the personal email?
Out of the personal email.
But
And
even
Eater.
still, it's kind of
Yeah.
it is shady. I totally agree.
So
it's
both?
shady.
No, just on the email. She wrote her name in the article.
Okay.
I mean, so they didn't
And she
address it, but I
has
would
to.
have to think
Yeah.
so, since it's her article. And then she said she's going to give her a quick link to say people can go to this little thing, just a little blurb. And I was like, okay, Kat, that's fine. And then, of course, we see Nina going to visit Waylon, and she was like, I'm actually came to solicit your skills. And I saw
Said it just like she says it. That's
your
exactly
skills.
how she says it.
And I saw Nina was like really nervous for a second. I think she was really nervous that Waylon was going to say no. And I honestly thought that Waylon was going to say no.
That's a lot to ask of somebody.
Yeah, I mean, that's like-
a huge deal.
Feeding 50 people a dessert.
Within
On
2 days.
notice.
2 days.
And Waylon's in the midst of every other single thing going on in her life.
I mean, I commend her for even saying yes. That's amazing.
And this is exactly the opposite of Kat. She says, I'm not going to leave someone lost on the ship, but no, it's not the best time, but I'm going to figure out a way. All Kat had to do was sit down for 20 minutes and write a little blog post and then post it.
I can't.
And she couldn't do it.
Good
and then
point.
Waylon is just blowing her out of the water, frankly.
I
Yeah.
like how Waylon has her homegirls' backs. She'll bury the body. It's my kind of chick. We can definitely hang out. She's a homegirl's homegirl.
Down ass bitch.
Yeah.
That's literally what I said. Waylon is a down ass bitch. You can quote me right here. And I like that Nina also acknowledged, she was like, having Waylon help out gives my pop-up notoriety. It's true because, I mean, Waylon does all these super high exclusive dessert consulting, and here she is helping out this new and up-and-coming chef, and I think that's really cool, especially since it's two girls working together. You don't see that.
How do you think it works when having to pay for the materials of making the food? I mean, is that something that Nina has to come with out of pocket and then just hope that the tickets covers cost? Because that's a lot
guess.
of food.
I don't know.
You know
do you
say?
think?
I have no idea.
Maybe one of them can come in and share with us since next week is the season finale.
It has been a trial and a tribulation trying to get them in here, but it's okay. Jesus Christ. Sweet baby Jesus. That's
Sweet
what it is.
baby Jesus.
And I also like that Nina said she's built a great network of people to help execute her vision. And I think it's commendable to look at Lindsay, Waylon, and Nina and say, I think that they are very, very good networkers and come from a networking place to not burn bridges. And I know that Jessica brings it up in a minute, and we'll get to her saying that she doesn't burn bridges, but there's a disconnect for me with Jessica. I feel like she's not the warmest crayon in the box, or the most relatable crayon in the box.
I mean, I don't love the word network because it makes me think of like a spider casting out its web. It seems like
it's
a
a
very ulterior
purposeful-
motive.
yes, exactly.
thing. But with those three girls, it comes off as like a team effort, a camaraderie. Jess, on the other hand, I just see this like disconnect with the way that she handles it. Like she only has her own back and no one
business.
else's, and she has her rules that she goes by, and if something goes against it, that's just not the way she works. Where people like Waylon seem more flexible and they can admit that they're wrong, and Jess just seems so by the book, but people that aren't flexible and can't go with the flow are usually the ones that drown.
Ooh. I mean, that's true. I mean, and we see that in her case because she lost her job. So I don't know. Maybe it's a life lesson to look at and see. I mean, I don't know if she sees it necessarily that way because I think obviously she's like, my personality and myself is my business and
I
my
just
career.
don't think she's the most likable of the bunch.
She's working now, though, isn't
Yeah,
she?
she's still doing this, the social media stuff, which we get to now. She goes to meet with Clint, who's the director of operations at the Wilshire, which is a restaurant. And she wants to, instead of doing the management and stuff for just a restaurant group, she decides to do social media and networking and marketing for restaurants and clients.
It was interesting because she gets offered this position and the guy says like, oh, I have a girl doing it now, but
Need some
let's go
freshness.
with you. And honestly, I think a lot of people, if you're unemployed and you get offered a job and they say, well, I currently have someone, but I'll fire them for you, I think you should be grateful for the opportunity and of course not turn it down because you do have to work and support yourself. But there should be that moment of pause where you just think of this other person.
What about
that's
the
gonna
other
be
person?
Jobless, like you just were, because you're.
Oh,
What
no,
did
no,
you
no,
guys
no, no,
think
no.
about that?
That's the way it works. If you're not doing a great job, you're going to be fired. I mean,
I
Do you
just
think that it's weird for an employer to bring that up, though, during like your
and
hiring
then not
meeting?
do shots? I just think someone like Waylon would have just been like, you know, I feel for that girl. No, like someone like Waylon that's from a better place would be like, I really feel for that girl, that maybe it's not the best position for her, and I hope she finds work, but I am really happy for that opportunity. There's just something there that really irked me with like that girl losing her job and they're doing shots.
It's
I didn't like it.
I mean, I think Jess is like kind of cuts you at the knees and like.
here's the thing. Shit happens. You're not doing a good job, the next person's going to come in and take your job. So you should be doing a good job to maintain that you don't get fired. We don't know what Waylon would do. We don't know what anyone else would do. It was cut. We don't know if later on she was like, oh my gosh, they didn't actually take shots. He just said, let's take shots. We didn't see them. They're celebrating.
Yeah.
That's life. If we're not doing a good job here at AfterBuzz TV,
We're done.
I mean,
So there's
what are
always
you gonna
someone to fill
do?
our spot.
Like,
yeah.
you have to make sure you're doing a good job at your job. Nothing is guaranteed in
And it's
life.
also maybe like they're working together. Like we don't necessarily know.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Yeah. Their situation.
It sucks, but
I
that's
thought it
reality.
was just a distasteful scene. It wasn't my favorite. The shots, it just
That's cool. I'm
rubbed
glad-
me the wrong way.
I'm glad that it did because it's like everyone got their opinion. I like that. And then we see Nina getting to the kitchen at Starry Restaurant, and she is, checking out the kitchen and seeing all the commercial stuff. And Lindsay is conveniently sitting at the table, and a camera's on her, and she sees Kat's email claiming she helped out with Nina's menu, and Lindsay brings it up and she says, "We have to put this bitch in her place." She didn't say bitch; she just said her. We have to put her in her place. And what do you think that she needs to be put in her place a little bit? I mean, I think Waylon kind of really checked her at the very beginning of the season. Like that was like really unforgivable to me as a journalist. Like, get
Right.
your facts straight.
I would come from a place with, it's really hilarious that your email said you helped with the menu, because in what way did you help with the menu?
Yeah.
Like, just really point
Or
blank.
even like not even like approaching a bitch way. Be like, I would like to know what input that you had in the menu. Like like play dumb a little bit and be
Yeah,
like,
right.
where did you come in?
I don't know about checking her, but there's nothing wrong with asking, like,
This is strange.
like,
yeah.
wait a minute. How
But
did you help me
But
with
it's
my
also
menu?
like Kat is inviting her group of friends, and I don't know if they would necessarily come because they might not know Nina, and if they know that Kat had a little bit of help in the menu,
Sure.
even if it was fake or whatever. Do you think they? I think that her friends would be
That's
like,
an
oh
interesting
yeah,
way of thinking about
yeah.
it.
That's a good way to think about it because, I mean, it is shitty that she didn't even mention Nina at all in the email, but she did write her up on Eater, and this is a personal email to a group of friends, not necessarily
right, it's not
a
being
blog post.
published for the world to see. Not
Yeah.
only that, but let's keep in mind, like, this is the kind of stuff that keeps us interested, and it's some drama because it is getting a little dry and slow. So, I mean,
Why do you? I want to get into this a little bit because we got into this last season with princesses, and we can go on the finale and say this stuff too. But like, why do you think? Where do you think the show went wrong for us? Like, where did it go bland a little bit?
It seemed like really manufactured drama, such as the boss scenes where Lindsay said something and then Brenda denied saying it and then Lindsay said she's a liar. Stuff like that is just repetitive to hear. If I had my own girlfriends going through this, I'd be like, I can't listen to this. Watching it on television is not entertaining.
It's awful. Yeah, it's just like I thought that this show was gonna have a clear, concise direction because you look at Vanderpump Rules. They're in a restaurant. They're working. It's a new show. That's the premise. And this show, I thought that it would be cool. I mean, because it was like a very specific line of where they were going. Like, we're working in the food industry, but it's like all this weird drama outside of that is just, it just doesn't
there's just
work.
not enough
It
going
doesn't
on.
work. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very, like, dry, and we've seen this before, and it's lasting 2 to 3 episodes. Like,
Get it over with and move on.
on to the next scene, on to the next drama, do something, go somewhere, like,
Yeah.
take a trip.
I mean, they're drawing this out, and then clearly the finale ends on the pop-up shop restaurant, and that's where it falls flat, because all we're going to just do is see them all fight around a table of who did what. I just don't foresee anything else happening with the finale that's going to be unexpected.
I just think it would have been more interesting to show like really what they do in their daily life and then how they interact with each other. Like, that's it.
Because I've seen, I've seen 9 episodes. I still don't know what Jess does for Harry Morton when she used to. I mean, now I'm getting consulting social media. I did not get any of that for the first 8 episodes.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just interesting to see. Like, I thought, I'm worried that this show might not get another season too. And we can get into that next week and whatever. But I just wanted to hear what y'all had to think about it, because I think with reality shows, especially now since they're on, I feel like on a decline a little bit. It's like you got to have that really specific moment where it fills the hole.
Because you know what? If not, the next show will bump you off and you will get fired.
Bye. So oh wait, while we're talking about getting fired, don't fire us on iTunes, and go ahead and listen. Give us a rating, give us 5 stars if you like the show. We would love that, and give us comments and feedback. We love hearing everything. And if you're watching on on YouTube, thank you. Give us a comment if you like what we're saying.
Thanks,
If we
guys.
forgot to mention something, give us that there.
There's some great comments on YouTube. I
They
really
really are.
appreciate you guys coming and talking about it.
It helps our show too, because it helps
Yeah.
us give a better show for you, and
Yeah,
gives
we
us a
love
show
it.
that you want to see. And the fans, you're what keep us going.
You
keep
got
us
that
lights
right.
on.
Or
So,
if not, we'll be fired.
goodbye. Fired. All right, so speaking of not fired and maybe a little fiery down under the pants, is Brenda going on her date with Michael. And
Loved it.
Jess really hooked her sister up. Like, this was right up Brenda's
She did
alley.
her
Brenda was giving
good.
her bedroom eyes that she always gives all those times, and I like it. And I just can't get over that story about Jess setting her up with like a 350-pound man. I wonder if he was actually 350 pounds, but he probably was just like a larger person. I don't know.
Maybe he was a meathead. Maybe he was
Maybe
muscle.
juicy. That's what that is. And then what do you think about him not drinking instead of the 2
I didn't get it.
I was like,
I didn't get it.
just say you don't drink. That whole excuse about drinking every week takes 2 to 4 hours a week, and instead of that, I'm gonna work out. Like, just work out and shut up. Like, you don't have to have this whole like
Wait.
existential thing about it.
If
Like,
you're
I
going
can't.
to eat desserts and red meat and stuff like that, it's the same calories to a certain extent that
Yeah.
you could work off. I didn't
And that's the reason why you work out
understand.
too, so that you can eat. If you want to eat something bad,
Do you
can.
guys think that he actually is a recovering alcoholic, but he was embarrassed to say on TV, so he made up that excuse?
I mean, he
'Cause
said he does drink, but it's rarely. It's like very rare.
he just, when he
occasion.
first said it really seemed as if he was a recovering alcoholic,
Yeah,
which
he was
is
like, "It's a long
totally
story."
good for him. I mean, I don't really think it's a long story to be like, I like to work out and be healthy, and I don't think. I think he really was hesitant to
Had
talk
an
about
issue.
it on Eat, Drink, Love reality television. I think it's more to the story, I believe.
And I asked this while we were watching the show. How do you feel about a person, you're having a first date, like the person that you're having a first date with is on a reality show, and then this is your first date with them on the reality show. Do you think that that's kind of sketchy? I feel like I'd be like, you just want to be on TV.
Well, not only is it a first date, it's a blind date. So,
Yeah.
I mean, she saw
She had
his
seen
picture,
pictures and
but
stuff.
it's still a complete stranger.
I think it would just intense the awkwardness and the pressure and the nerves. Like, it's already nerve-wracking.
Do you think it was
So-
genuinely their first date, though?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
seemed
because
pretty
she was
awkward.
talking about Jess a lot. Like, she was doing a lot of first date, blind
That
date.
nervous, like, oh, yeah, jittery.
chatter and bringing up the 300-pound guy. Like,
They kind of like look like each other. They're both like really tall and like, blonde.
Ken and Barbie-esque.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he was giving her the snatch eye, too.
He
so
was,
I
too.
think there might be some potential there.
I think it'd be cute if they ended up together. He seemed really nice. I don't know. I think it'd be really cute for them to be together. I'm rooting for Brenda. I do like her a lot. I do like her. I think she gets involved with some shit too much, but I think she's
it would
really
mellow her
awesome.
out if she found a great guy and had a nice companion and could do like things that were removed from the girls, and she'd probably have less time to have her fake friendship with Kat. Her 3 times a week or whatever it is for someone she doesn't even like.
Exactly. I mean, you never know what their relationship's like now, though. I thought that this show, again, I'm going to go back to this, but I thought it had a moment to really have a reunion. I did. I thought it had a moment to have that, but then it kind of lost it for me. Fizzled
Yeah,
out.
there's not enough drama.
Yeah, no. So let's move into the last scene, which was Nina preparing her meal for the girls. And they had a lot of feedback. And what did you think about their feedback? I mean, it seemed like everything they thought was kind of unseasoned and kind of not flavored as well.
I think it was fair. I think they,
Yeah.
they were coming from a place of wanting her to do well. And since it seemed to be unanimous about certain things, like nobody said anything that was really off, I think it was fair.
This is really tough because I feel like they always say, people should be willing to fail and, try but maybe not succeed. But with something like cooking, if I go to one restaurant and it's not good, I'll never go back. And
exactly.
I'm really torn with her because I feel as if it's so inspiring how much she puts herself out there, but at the same time, with a first impression and getting your name out and wanting to start a restaurant, it has to be really solid. And I'm almost like, is she ready for this? Is she not quite there where she knows how to get it? Should she do something less big? I don't know. I'm
It
so
seems
torn
rushed.
on it.
It seems
very
rushed.
rushed. And she's been working so hard for so many years. Why rush it now?
And it's also like she has inexperience working in a kitchen. It's like, get that experience, be like the best you can be, like build it for yourself, and then blow up and do something. Like, don't like blow your load before you're finished. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
such a
sorry.
good way
I've had
of
so many
saying it.
sexual references tonight. It's been really awesome for
Something
me.
to tell us. And your shirt
was
is
mine.
so unbuttoned. I love it.
I know. Watch out, people.
I think it's great. I mean, it's such an opportune time that she's on a reality show. And oh, by the way, we need a way to end the season.
Yeah.
So you're going to do a pop-up in 4 days.
Have fun with that. Yeah.
But
I
then
mean,
this is a huge, 50 people, I bet, at least 30 of them are going to be straight industry people.
and I feel like if you're going to be on a reality show and it's promoting a business, like you don't want people saying bad things about your business. You know what I'm saying? Like, because this is her
'cause
livelihood
it
after the
seems
show
like
too.
It doesn't go very well. And I don't know if they just picked the worst parts of it, but it seemed as if it was a disaster.
And Waylon said something for me that was really kind of tied this whole thing. She was like, everything in Nina's food was good, but nothing is really great. And I think if you're gonna do a pop-up shop, you gotta become with it like great, like guns blazing. And I didn't think it's just rushed.
Hopefully that happens. Hopefully
Magic
we're
happens.
so suspenseful.
I mean, that's probably what's gonna happen. Everyone's gonna be like, it was amazing. There's that moment where everyone's like panicking and then it just is fine.
The only drama was Kat and Brenda storming out.
Yeah.
Well,
Seems
and
like
Nina
something
going
caught
on
on
camera.
fire in the kitchen. There was a lot of smoke.
Smoke or something, yeah.
She's usually pretty chill. She seemed like she's having a genuine meltdown.
I mean, that's a big
Absolutely.
career move.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that meltdown though was maybe the night before it, because
Oh, when they're prepping the
because
food?
in her food, if you see her food preparation, she has a blue jacket on, but in that episode tonight and into that little freak out, she had a white jacket on.
Ooh.
Good
Context
call.
clues, follow it. So let's get into some predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I predict that Nina is gonna kill the pop-up shop. I feel like she's gonna do amazing. I feel like they're leading us to believe it's gonna be this way, but it's gonna be amazing.
Awesome. I
That's
really
my-
feel like there will be an announcement for a New York shop. I think that they would be really great if with the finale of this, there's a press release and it's officially going to be saying when the launch will be. I really think that she's ready for her New York store.
I don't have a prediction.
You're done. Your blank page, that says it all. That says it all for your predictions. All right, well, you can join us next week for the finale. Hopefully, we might have one of the girls on the show. Tweet them. You can find me on Twitter at Jake_Dupree and on Instagram at Jake Dupree.
I'm on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Cassidy Gard.
And I'm on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Fahnia Thomas.
Thank you, guys. See you next week.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.